All right, here we go. They get things going so quick we barely get time to write things down, but welcome back, everyone. And here we go. There's a ball headed into right field. Schmock will go back, so one pitch, one out, and Cade Baldridge is out on a fly to right field. And that's going to bring up Dandridge.
Number 9, Seth Dandridge.
That's going to bring up Dandridge. Dandridge was 1 for 4 in the first game. Had a base hit, a couple of punch outs, and a ground out. That's high and outside for ball 1. There is ball 2. So I see a difference in the strike zone already, so we'll be in observation of that as usual. Dandridge at the plate, the left fielder. There's a ball headed deep to right, and that is called a fair ball and a home run. So a home run with that pitch right there. So one pitch and out, and then one pitch a home run to get Cowley on the board, and that's going to bring up Thomas. Thomas will step in with one out and nobody on. That's high and outside. Thomas was 0 for 2 with a couple of walks in the first game. Comes the 1-0 pitch. That's a breaking ball. Must have been down, could have been out, not sure, but it looks like a really tight zone compared to the zone we saw in the first game. We'll see. There's a strike, catches the outside corner at the knees. Comes the 1-1. That ball's outside, 2-1 the count.
Yes.
That misses outside. So a fly out, a home run, and a base on balls. That's going to bring up Dax McCaskill, the right fielder.
Now batting right fielder number 12, Dax McCaskill.
McCaskill was 1 for 3 in the first game, had a base hit to right field and reached on a base on balls one time. He's up there with one out and one on. There's a breaking ball strike. 1 the count, 0-1 the count. Breaking ball, that's a strike in the first game outside, and a ball here in this game as we would expect it to be. Just the difference in umpires, not right, wrong, or indifferent. My observation, there's a toss over to first base, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Here in the first, 1 run in as well for the Tigers. A tough hop, but nonetheless be ruled an error.
Come on, Quinn.
So McCaskill's on with an error on Pachori to short. It's going to bring up Quinn Grobel. Grobel starts the day batting .300. 1-0 the count on him, low and outside with that first pitch.
Are you talking NJCA or NCAA? NCAA, no.
Comes the 1-0 pitch. Swings through that breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. So pitch way outside. Colton Kirkham behind the plate. We got Nolan the fourth, Dirks and Smock across the outfield. Wojda at third, Pachorik, Barham at second, Santiago at first. Kirkham behind the plate. Jake Titus on the mound. That's low and inside, kept in front by Kirkham. Titus is from Ottawa, Kansas. He has a 5.31 ERA. 3-1 is his record. 9 appearances, 20 and a third innings pitched, 27 strikeouts to 20 walks. That's up high, and another walk as well. So that's going to load the bases. That's going to bring up Graw. Graw was 1 for 2 with a double and a hit by a pitch in the first. There's a breaking ball. Here's some groans about the call of that strike when that was a strike the entire first game, although we didn't necessarily agree with it for either team. Bases loaded, 1 out. Blue Devils could use a 1-hopper right at somebody. That ball is either low or outside, probably low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 run in. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. Nicely blocked by Kirkham. Kirkham, the platoon catcher in this second game, and Horn will DH, and Wojda will be playing third, as we mentioned. That's inside. 2-2 the count. Finally kind of getting caught up on all of our paperwork here. They turn things around rather quickly on us, but that's just part of it. That's in the dirt, blocked nicely by Kirkham. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. There's a ball that's fouled. High and inside, so an RBI. Base on balls to Graw. 2 runs in now. So that'll bring up Logan Smith. He's the second baseman. He'll be up there with 1 out and the bases full of Tigers. Smith was 0 for 3 in the first game, grounded out into fielder's choice. That Pachorik 1 time over to third, and then struck out his other 3 attempts. So 0 for 4 on the day for him in the first game. Swing and a miss of that pitch. There's a foul ball trickling over toward the Blue Devils dugout. 1-2 the count on the second baseman, Logan Smith. 1-2. And check string ruled a strike. So that's going to bring up Creed Muirhead. Muirhead starts the day batting .420, has 50 at bats. Muirhead playing third base in this second game. He's up there now with 2 outs and the bases loaded. 2 runs in. There's a strike called on the outside corner. Where were they complaining during the first game when that corner was there for both of us? It's a ground ball to Barham at second and over to Pachorik for the 4-6 ground out.
For Cowley in the top of the first. 2 runs on 1 hit.
2 runs on 1 hit. 4 left on 1 error in the inning by the Blue Devils. And we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Cowley with 2. The Blue Devils coming up. I'll be back. All right. Keegan Robertson from Rattan, Oklahoma. Tall lefty on the mound for the Tigers. Tanner Pachorik will step in. First pitch to him is a strike called. Pachorik was 0 for 3 in the first game. A couple of ground outs and a fly out. Tanner Pachorik doesn't go 0 for very often, so we expect something different. There's 1-1 the count now on Pachorik. That's up high. All right, finally settled down with all of our book work done, I think, to where we can just play some baseball and give you some information. There's a pitch. That's high in the inside. So 3-1 the count. And there's a base on balls to Pachorik. That's going to bring up Dirks. Dirks will step in. Dirks was 1 for 2 in the first game, had a base hit and was hit by a pitch. He takes ball 1, got a runner at first base. Leadoff walk to Pachorik. There's a strike called. Muirhead behind the plate. There's a bunt down. Believe that has to be ruled a base hit. And coach over here is saying, catcher, go out and get the ball and throw the guy out. So that's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago now moves over to the right-handed side with the lefty on the mound, and he's promptly hit by a pitch. We're going to get a visit to the mound. We'll take a short break. We'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again.
I would have been to his point. Listen, son.
All right, want to know the count to Nolan the fourth. There's a swing. Check swing ruled a strike. Nolan the fourth was 0 for 3 in the first game. Had a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout.
Yes.
There's a ball headed through the hole. Gonna be 2 RBI. As Pachorik and Dirks both score, Santiago moves up to second. So the base hit through the hole over there. And 2 RBI. So that's going to bring up Woida. Woida will step in with nobody out. Runners at first and second. Woida was 1 for 3 in the first game with a base hit with 2 RBI. Swing and a miss of that pitch right there. 0-1 the count on Woida. And Woida squares to bunt and takes one off the hip. So he's hit by a pitch. And that's going to load the bases back up again for Braden Horn. And Horn will step in. We're going to get a pitching change going back to the mound. So the change is going to be made. The Blue Devils have the bases loaded. They have 2 runs in where they've just tied it up. And we will be back with that change in a bit. Pitching change has been made by the Tigers. Coming in to pitch is Ty Parker. Ty is from Pioneer, Oklahoma. He has a 7.07 ERA. 4-2 is his record. 10 appearances, 28 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts to 12 base on balls. He's a righty that will come to the mound. He inherits the bases loaded, a 2-run scored to tie things up for the Blue Devils. He will take over from Keegan Robertson. The Blue Devils look to get more, and that's going to bring up Braden Horn had an RBI double, a double, and a double. So he was 3 for 3 with 3 doubles and an RBI in the first game. Another double right here to keep the doubles going would be just fine. There's a breaking ball, stayed just a little bit inside. 1-0 the count on the designated hitter, Braden Horn. There's a strike outside corner. One ball, one strike, nobody out. There's a strike right through there. 1-2 the count. Dandridge, Fitro, McCaskill across the outfield. Smith, Baldridge, Groh, and Grobel across the infield. Muirhead behind the plate. Parker now on the mound. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ty Parker on in relief of Keegan Robertson. Here comes the 2-2. There's a strike 3 called. So that will bring up Colton Kirkham.
Now back to catcher number 32. Colton Kirkham.
Kirkham will step in for his first at-bat of the day. Kirkham starts the day batting .220. He's the platoon catcher in the second game. There's a breaking ball, sails just a little bit low. Want to know the count? That's way outside. 2-0 the count now. See what Coach Goldbeck has in mind down there at third base. Kirkham at the plate. There's a strike, catches the outside corner at the waist. 2-1 the count. Bases full of Blue Devils. There's a strike 2 called. Santiago at third, Nolan the fourth at second, and Woida at first. Colton Kirkham, the catcher, at the plate. There's a foul ball headed down the right field line. That's going to be out of play. Kirkham needs to just work on contact here now. Try and hit something to the right side. Get that run in, whether it's an out or a hit. That's way over the top of Kirkham. Way up over the top, back and bounced back. So 3-2 the count, 1 out. 2-2 the score here in the first.
Yeah.
There's a ball headed back up the middle. And Kirkham with a 2 RBI base hit up the middle. 2 more runs in.
Second baseman, number 11, Harrison Barham.
That's going to bring up Barham. Barham will step in. He was 0 for 2 in the first game, had a couple of flyouts.
You got 5 in that bottom there. It says, Brady, see that?
There's a ball headed into right center.
No, that was going to happen. Brady, you do.
Gonna send White to home. So Barham with the base hit
I think it's going to change to 6, though.
You think so?
to right center. So 5 runs are in now.
Now batting in right field, number 2, Spencer Smock.
So that's going to bring up Spencer Smock. Smock was 1 for 2 in the first game, had a base hit and a ground out. He'll step in. Blue Devils now leading 5-2. Toss over to first. Back in safely is Barham. So back-to-back hits for Kirkham and Barham. Brings in 3 more after Nolan the fourth had a base hit earlier in the inning for 2 RBI for a total of 5 thus far. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Owen won the count. Runners at the corners for the Blue Devils. Squares to bunt. And what was hoping to be a sack bunt ends up being a hit. So you end up getting ready to take a sack bunt, you end up getting a bunt hit and an RBI. Makes it 6-2. Back to the top of the order for the Blue Devils and Pachorik. Pachorik is from Aurora, Colorado. His family in attendance today. That's low and inside. So 2-0 the count. Visited with his mom a little before the game. Two balls, no strikes. Comes the pitch. There's a strike right on the outside corner at the knees. 2 balls and a strike. Six runs in the inning thus far. There's a breaking ball that's outside. So the Blue Devils have batted around. Their 10th hitter comes to the plate. Pachorik walked to start everything out and scored on Nolan's base hit. And there's another base on balls to Pachorik. We're going to get a visit to the mound. We're going to get a pitching change. The Blue Devils have plated 6. The bases are full of Blue Devils. There's 1 out. We'll get the pitching change. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made. Chance Accord from Cashion, Oklahoma, comes to the mound. Accord has a 3.70 ERA, 3-0 is his record, 15 appearances, 24 and a third innings pitched, 29 strikeouts to 21 base on balls is the ratio of strikeouts to walks. Accord takes his final warm-up throws. The Blue Devils back to their bases, each loaded up right here.
Now batting for the Blue Devils, number 27, the center fielder, Marcus Dirks.
Marcus Dirks is going to come in. We'll see what we get out of him. He had a bunt hit his first time up. I thought we might see one here. You just never know, because a base hit to one of the gaps or a double could score a couple of 3 runs. We'll see. 1-0 the count. Here we go. And that misses outside. 2-0 the count. Bases full of Blue Devils. Here comes the 2-0. There's a strike right through there. There's a base hit into right field. 1 run scores, and 1 only will score. So station to station move up. So the base hit by Dirks past the diving second baseman Grow. And that's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago was hit by a pitch his last time up. That's high and outside. 1-0 the count. So this is the 12th hitter to come to the plate for the Blue Devils. There's a foul ball back to the screen. Your eyes get big when that pitch comes in there, and then you go, I just get a piece of it, but I certainly didn't catch up to it. Comes the 1-1. That's high and outside, so 2-1 the count. Santiago is from Cowley, Puerto Rico. Swing and a miss of that heater. 2-2 the count now. There's a ground ball headed at the second baseman. Grow is up with it over to Baldridge, and Baldridge's relay throw over to Grobel for the 4-6-3. 4-6-3 double play. The Blue Devils get 7 runs on 5 hits. They strand 1 after the double play. And we go to the top of the second inning. Blue Devils leading 7-2. I'll be back. There is a strike called. I could throw people out, though. 0-1 the count. Sorry, we're talking about fast pitch softball for the old guy. Love that game, and I love baseball. There's 1-1 the count. Drake Fitro at the plate. 1-1 the count. That ball's going to be out of play. Fitro was 0 for 1 in the first game. He did have a sac fly for an RBI and a walk. Grounded out his other at bat. Way outside, 2-2 the count. Comes the wind and the 2-2 way up high. So 3-2. Jake Titus on the mound for the Blue Devils from Ottawa, Kansas. Comes the 3-2, and that's outside for ball 4. So back to the top of the order, and Cade Baldridge.
Now batting number 1, the shortstop, Cade Baldridge.
Baldridge is from Roth, Oklahoma. He flew out to Smock in right field his first time up with this game. Toss over to first. Nothing much going on over there. Santiago holds him on. Him as in Drake Fitro. That ball just gets over the top of Santiago. Just gets over the top of him. Going first to third is Fitro. It's going to bring up Dandridge.
Now batting for Cowley, number 9, the left fielder, Seth Dandridge.
Dandridge hit a solo home run his last time up. And he's hit by a pitch. That's going to bring up Thomas.
Now batting the DH, number 39, Weston Thomas.
Thomas is from Piedmont, Oklahoma. He reached on a base on balls his last time up. Bases are loaded.
Whoa!
Ball must have missed a little bit inside. 1-0 the count. Now getting in a bit of a hurry. Going to have to settle in and get a little rhythm going here is Titus. That pitch is low and inside. Need to keep a little composure here. We got a lead. Let's throw strikes. Make them hit the ball. There's a strike right through there. 2-1 the count. Two balls, one strike. Blue Devils leading 7-2. Top of the second inning action. Misses a little bit inside. So 3-1 the count. Blue Devils won the first game. It was a 7-inning affair. They won it 4-1. This one will be a 9-inning affair. That misses inside for an RBI base on balls. Makes it 7-3. That's going to bring up McCaskill. Going to get a visit to the mound. We'll see if there's any changes. We'll take a break. Stay with us. I'll be back. All right, visit to the mound is over. Dax McCaskill will step in.
Right fielder number 12, Dax McCaskill.
McCaskill reached on an error last time up. McCaskill is from Washington, Oklahoma. That's low and outside in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Blue Devils lead 7-3 in the dirt. Nicely blocked by Kirkham. Two balls, no strikes, bases full of Tigers. And that's down low again. 3-0 the count. There's a strike right through there. 3-1 the count. Inside half of the plate. There's a strike two called. 3-2 the count. That's the pitch that was a strike the entire first game that we all thought was wide, but nonetheless ruled a strike again. 3-2 the count. And that's low and a base on balls. So another RBI base on balls. Going to get another visit to the mound, a pitching change. Blue Devils leading 7-4. Cowley has the bases loaded with nobody out here in the top of the second. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Dylan Blazer will come in. He's from Shawnee, Kansas. Blazer has a 3.42 ERA. 2-2 is his record. 16 appearances, 26 and a third innings, 29 strikeouts to 21 base on balls is his balls to walks to strikeout ratio. There's a foul ball back to the screen. Quinn Grobel steps in for
First base number 37, Quinn Grobel.
Grobel is from Lenexa, Kansas. There's a strike. So 0-2 the count on him. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. He's up there. 0-2 the count on him, facing the reliever, Dylan Blazer. There's a ball at Santiago over So we get the out on the fielder's choice. 3-6 ground out, fielder's choice, and a run scores.
Frank, if we did make a good decision on him, because I don't think he could have got all the way back to first. Maybe so. Now batting, what's this? Now batting number 19, the second baseman, Logan Grow.
Grow will now step in for the Tigers. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. Grow is from Gardner, Kansas. There's strike 2 called quickly, 0-2 the count. So runners at the corners. 3 runs in the inning.
Come on, make a fly.
Look at that ball just drifting. Look at that ball drift.
Ball headed down into the bullpen area. Wind blowing in from left field, and you take a ball like that, it's already got some spin that's going to take it, and then with the wind pushing it, takes it over into the bullpen area. So 0-2 the count. There's a ball headed for the bullpen. Gonna skip the bullpen and head down the side of the hill toward the woods. One out, 0-2 the count on the first baseman, Grow. There's a ball headed into right on the run. That's going to be taken by Smock, and so Grow gets the sac fly for another run. So that is 4 straight at bats with RBI. 2 of them by bases loaded walks, then a fielder's choice, then a sac fly. So 4 runs in the inning so far, and all of that on 1 hit.
1 hit. Wow. That's freaking crazy.
1-0 the count. That's up high.
Come on, Blazer.
2-0 the count. Walk, double, hit by pitch. Walk, fielder's choice, sac fly. That's what we have so far. 4 runs in the inning, making it a 7-6 game. There's a strike called, 2-1 the count.
Oh, nice play, Frankie.
So Santiago grabs that ball before it has an opportunity to hit the bag, and who knows where it goes after that for 3 unassisted.
4 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. KCK 7, Cowley 6.
So we go to the bottom half of the second inning. There in that inning, 4 runs on 1 hit. And we go to the bottom of the second inning. Blue Devils leading 7-6. I'll be back. All right, Nolan the fourth, Woida and Horn scheduled up. Nolan the fourth is from Fort Worth, Texas. He steps in, lead things off. That pitch is high and inside. 1-0 the count. He had an RBI base hit his last time up, yanked it right between the shortstop and the third baseman for 2 RBI. That pitch is way outside. 2-0 the count. Chance Accord on in relief. There's a ball headed to deep center. And back to take care of that is Fitro. So Nolan the fourth gives it a ride, but it was run down by Fitro for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Ian Woida. Woida is from Lincoln, Nebraska. Swing and a miss of that first pitch. Woida was hit by a pitch. He squared the bunt and then ended up on the ground, but got first base. There's a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 run lead by the Blue Devils. Off the end of the bat, out in front of that. Freeland back behind the plate. He comes back in. He caught the first game. Muirhead caught the first inning of this one. Freeland back behind the plate. That's up high. 2-2 the count. Bottom of the second inning action. Foul ball headed. I think that's the first time I've said today a foul ball headed to the soccer practice field. A little bit of soccer going on, and the ball almost made it to midfield over there on the pitch of the soccer field. That misses outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. There's a ball headed into center field. That's going to be taken by Fitro for the second out. So a couple of the flyouts to center field. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Braden Horn. Horn, the designated hitter in this one. Horn was called out on strikes his first at-bat of this one. And he thought he was hit by a pitch. Umpire didn't think so. Horn is from Derby, Kansas. It might have got a piece of him. I'm gonna tell you right now that if I needed to bet some money, you're not going to get a first base umpire down there to change a call that happened up here. Is just not going to happen, and I'll be darned.
I've never seen that before.
Now we're going to get Coach to come out from the other side. So a hit by a pitch for Horn by Accord. So as we're visiting up here, to have a first base umpire help make a call on a hit by pitch is just something that just doesn't happen, but it did today. So that's going to bring up Kirkham. Kirkham is from Platte City, Missouri. He had an RBI, 2 RBI base hit his last time up. There's a pitch that's outside. So he hit a base hit to the right center gap for 2 RBI his first time up. Want to know the count on him here. There's a strike right through there. 1-1 the count. Blue Devils clinging to a 7-6 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Second game of the day. The Blue Devils won the first one 4-1 in the 7-inning affair. Now we're doing the 9-inning affair here in the second game.
Where are you playing softball at? Is your brother playing there too? Where are you playing?
1-2 the count now. There's a ball headed into right center. Is that taken by the center fielder or right fielder? Right fielder took care of that one. So no runs, no hits, no errors. One left on.
No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base.
We go to the top of the third inning. Blue Devils leading 7-6. All right, Freeland will lead things off here. Takes ball one. Freeland was 1 for 2 in the first game, had a base hit and was hit by a pitch. It's a high fly ball going into left center. That's going to be taken by Dirks. So a fly out to left center. To the center fielder, Marcus Dirks for the first out of the inning.
Now batting center fielder number 23, Drake Fitro.
Fitro will now step in. There's strike one. Sorry about the camera. Got too many things going on. My apologies. That's down a little bit low. 1-1 the count. Fitro, they play him to pull. There's a ball, just misses. Fitro is from Choctaw, Oklahoma. He's up there with 1 out, 2-1 the count on him. There's a ball headed for Pachorik. He's up with it at short, throws a one-hopper over to Santiago. Santiago digs it out for the 6-3 ground out. Back to the top of the order. And Baldridge.
Now batting the shortstop, number 1, Cade Baldridge.
Baldridge flew out in the first, doubled into the right field corner in the second.
Doesn't matter.
2 outs. That's down low, 1-0 the count.
I mean, you can say that for all sports, yeah, but for it capitalizes in baseball.
Well, but there's no at-large bids.
Dylan Blazer on in relief of Titus.
No matter really how you do during the season. You can go 56-0 and lose your first 2 games in the region tournament. You're not going to. Doesn't matter. And you can be 56-2.
You know, this year, are you guys going to
There's a bunt, and Whittle lets that go foul.
I mean, there's a travel roster that he has to turn in. So, however many we're able to take is what we normally.
Yeah, because I know last year
It's hard.
we
because,
took a lot of people.
Well, I was,
Yeah, I know.
it was about a $50,000 trip, so it's what
Yeah.
you guys have done.
Wichita, we stayed in a nice ass hotel. Like, really
That's
nice.
all we could find.
Seriously?
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. The shortstop, Cade Baldridge at the plate.
Breakfast and everything. Check it up at least. Check it.
What?
Well, you guys are wanting him to check it for that. The left-handed batter checking down there. I'm thinking ring him up on the dadgum pitch that was a strike. How about if we go there? Oh, you guys would go there too.
I would too.
2-1 that count nonetheless. We don't miss many strikes and balls calls up here at all. So there's a foul ball back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Blue Devils clinging to a 1-run lead. There's a high chopper that's going to just get past Santiago and into right field for the base hit. So 2 for 3 with a double and a single
Now batting for Cowley, the left fielder, number 9, Seth Dandridge.
for Baldridge, and that's going to bring up Dandridge. Dandridge steps in. He's from Leawood, Kansas. He steps in with a runner at first base. 2 outs. That's ball 1, 1-0 the count. Fly out, a ground out, and a base hit. The left fielder, Dandridge at the plate. A little toss over to first. Nothing much going on over there.
Didn't this guy hit the solo shot in the first inning? Yep. Strike.
Ruled a ball, 2-0 the count.
Ball blazing. Got 2 outs.
Little toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base. Runner goes. And safe. Ball comes out. Kirkham with a nice throw down there. Couldn't quite handle the short hop. 2-1 the count. Baldridge now in scoring position. I believe that to be the first stolen base of the day.
I don't even think anyone else has tried.
Inside, 3-1 the count.
Mark Hedges have a pretty good throw percentage, but I guess would be theirs due too.
3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at second base is Baldridge. Baldridge. Dandridge at the plate. I got my dridges confused here. 3-2 the count now. Dandridge had a home run in the first and was hit by a pitch in the second. He's up there now with a 3-2 count. That's up high for ball 4.
So who's next?
It's going to bring up Thomas. Weston Thomas will step in. He had a base on balls in the first and a base on balls in the second. The base on balls in the second yielded a run. That misses inside for ball one. 1-0 the count. There's a strike called. 1-1 the count. It's a ground ball headed at Santiago. And a ground out.
That was the longest half inning ever.
So the holdup here is thinking that was in some way a foul ball, but grounded out, 3 unassisted there. So no runs on 1 hit for the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Blue Devils leading 7-6. I'll be back.
Let's go, sister.
All right, to the bottom of the 3rd. Ball to the backhand side. That's going to be an error on the shortstop. Baldridge couldn't get a handle on that. Circle to the backside of that and a base hit. It's going to bring up Smock. Smock steps in, takes a strike. Barham, who just got on by the error there, had a base hit, RBI base hit his first time up, as did Spencer Smock, who's up there now. Little toss over to first, nothing going on over there. Smock is from Aurora, Colorado. That's up high. One ball, one strike. 1 on. 1-run lead for the Blue Devils. It's a ball that's headed through the hole. So Smock drives 1 through the hole, and he's 2 for 2. So back to the top of the order, and Tanner Pachorik. Pachorik will step in with nobody out, runners at first and second. Blue Devils trying to recoup some of those runs, get the lead back that they had ever so briefly. 7-6, bottom of the third, 2 on. Squared a bunt. 1-0 the count. In at the corners are Smith and Grobel. Grobel at first way in. That ball misses outside. So 2-0 the count.
Someone ran that against our high school, so the kid on second on my team just tripped the kid right in front of him. A lot of stuff you can do this one.
2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Runners at first and second. Squares to bunt and fouls it down. So 2-1 the count now. Two balls, one strike. Back to the top of the order, Tanner Pachorik, the shortstop. Barham at second, Smock at first. Nobody out. Two and one the count. The bunt is down. And the catcher, Freeland, comes out, makes the play, and the sack bunt is executed by Pachorik.
Now batting the center fielder, number 27, Marcus Dirks.
So that'll bring up Dirks. Dirks will step in. We are going to get the lefty to come in and face the next left-handed hitter and force Santiago over to the right side. I'll take a break. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made. Lefty Mark Hoffman will come in. He is from Clay Center, Kansas. Hoffman will come to the mound. He has a 4.41 ERA. No record at this point, wins or losses. He has 14 appearances, 16 1/3 innings pitched, and he will face Dirks. First pitch to Dirks is outside, 1-0 the count. Bottom of the third inning action, scheduled 9-inning game. Dirks at the plate. That's outside for ball 2. Dirks 2 for 2. He had a bunt hit in the first. And then he had a bunt into right field. There's a ball headed into left field. That's going to be foul. Headed into the right field corner. Just couldn't stay foul. Could that pitch? He did have an RBI on his base hit past the diving Grow at second base that went into right field. There's a swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Blue Devils trying to get some insurance run here. Insurance runs. There's a foul ball off the foot. Hoffman on in relief of Accord, Parker, and Robertson. Runners at second and third. Barham at third. Schmock at second. Dirks at the plate. There's a ball at the first baseman. And that's going to be unassisted ground out, but a run scores on the ground out. So a nice job getting that ball to the right side and getting the run in. So 8-6, the lead now. So this will be the second time in this game that we get Santiago on the right-handed side as the switch hitter. There's a ball that's headed into left field. There's a ball that's going to get by the left fielder and into second base. So an RBI base hit by Santiago and then moves up on the ball, getting past the left fielder, Dandridge. So now at the plate, Nolan the fourth will step in. He's 1 for 2. Had a base hit for 2 RBI, his first at bat. There's a foul ball back into the screen. There's a ground ball over to Grow at second. Grow to Grobel. 4-3.
There were no errors and 1 left on base. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Your Blue Devils lead 9-6.
9-6 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the 4th we go. McCaskill, Grobel, and Grow scheduled up for the Tigers of Cowley. McCaskill reached on an error and then had a base on balls that yielded a run. His second at bat. He'll step in to face Dylan Blazer. Blazer on in relief of Titus. That ball misses outside, 1-0 the count. There's a ball headed into left, and that's going to be taken care of by Nolan the fourth. It's going to bring up Grobel.
Now batting number 37, the first baseman, Quinn Grobel.
Grobel walked his first time up. Grounded out to Santiago at first with Titus covering. No, I'm sorry, down to over to Pachorik at second. Double play opportunity that was going to be a foul ball. That was a nice job by the hitter to just go ahead and run that out. And the reason so is because last time I believe it was him. No, it was Thomas that was out on the ground ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Third baseman Quinn Grobel at the plate. There's a strike 2 right there. 1-2 the count. Somebody down in front of us, that was a strike in the. Ooh. 1-2 the count. There's a ball headed down into the workout area, going to be foul. One and two the count. It's a ball into left center. That's going to be taken by Dirks. Long run by Dirks, but he takes care of it. That's going to bring up Grow. Grow steps in with 2 outs, takes ball 1. Grow had an RBI base on balls in the first and an RBI sac fly to Smock in right field in the second. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. That's that dreaded outside corner, that breaking ball. Been fairly consistent out there by both umpires today. There's a line drive whistled past where the coach at third base should have been standing. He's standing up the line, leaves my camera. See if I can get him in the view there. See the first base coach clear, or third base coach clear up there. There's a ball into right center, and coming over to take care of that is Dirks. So Dirks is roaming both sides of the 394 sign. 3 fly balls right there for 3 outs. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Blue Devils leading 9-6. I'll be back.
Leading off the bottom of the fourth.
All right, here we go to the bottom of the fourth. Wada, Horn, and Kirkham scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Mark Hoffman back for another inning of work. There's a foul ball headed over to the soccer field. Wada fouls that one away. Wada was hit by a pitch in the first, flew out to Fitro in the second. There's a ball way inside. 1-1 the count, a little bit of a purpose pitch there. 1-1 the count. There's a ball headed at Grobel off the bag and out 3 unassisted is Wada. So that's going to bring up Horn. Horn, the designated hitter in this one, he was called out on strikes in the first, was hit by a pitch in the second. 0-1 the count on him here. Fouls that back to the screen. So quickly 0-2 the count. Blue Devils with the 9-6 lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. There's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Kirkham. Kirkham had a base hit in the first with 2 RBI and then flew out to right field his last time up, and there he's hit by a pitch. Hit down there in the leg where there's not a whole lot of meat to make that feel better. So that's going to bring up Harrison Barham. Barham will step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. The runner at first base is Kirkham after he was hit by a pitch. There's a strike right through there. Barham had an RBI base hit in the first. In the third, he reached on an error. There's a ball that's going to be headed. A very tall first baseman, other than that, gets over him, so that is a ground out. 3-1, which is Grobel who underhanded to Hoffman. No runs on, no hits. We go to the top of the fifth inning. Blue Devils leading 9-6. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the fifth. Blazer back for another inning of work. Smith struck out in the first on a check swing called strike, and 3 unassisted down to Santiago. Whistles that one past the coach standing over here at first. So quickly 0-2 the count. On the second baseman, Logan Smith slaps that one down into the workout area of the Blue Devils. We'll do the 0-2 again. Smith, the second baseman for the Cowley Tigers. There's strike 3 called outside corner right there.
Now batting for Cowley, catcher number 6, Carter Freeland.
Carter Freeland will step in. He came back into the game after the first inning. He was the catcher in the first game. Reinserted as the catcher in this game in the second. He flew out to right center. Left center. His last time up. There's a strike right through there. So 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the fifth inning action. There's a 2-chopper at Barham, and he's over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Fitro. Fitro is 0 for 1, grounded out to Pachorik at short and reached on a base on balls. In tight at the corner is Woida. Everyone else deep on the infield, outfield, playing Fitro straight up. That's a good looking pitch right there. 2-0 the count though, ruled a ball. Probably low. Here comes the 2-0. There's a strike right through there. 2-1 the count. There's a ground ball. Circle on that does Barham and tosses it over to Santiago. So a punch out and a couple of ground outs to second base. No runs, no hits, nobody left on, no errors, not much of anything. And we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Hey, we just made it halfway through this one. Blue Devils leading 9-6. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom of the fifth we go. Smock, Pachorik, and Dirks scheduled up for the Blue Devils.
Leading off the bottom of the fifth, the Blue Devils, number 2, the right fielder, Spencer Smock.
Spencer Smock will step in. Smock is 2 for 2 in this one, has a couple of base hits, one of them for an RBI. I missed.
No, we're good. It's ball.
What happened?
You're good. Nothing.
That's outside. I thought maybe I said something errant.
Nope.
2-0 the count now on the right fielder, Spencer Schmock.
No luck here, Gary. Good work. Gymnasium.
And there's ball 4, so headed down to first base with that base on balls is Spencer Schmock. Back to the top of the order, and Tanner Pachorik. Pachorik from Aurora, Colorado, stepping in with a runner at first. Ball stays way outside. 1-0 the count. Bottom of the 5th inning action, Blue Devils clinging to a 9-6 lead. 1-0 the count on Tanner Pachorik. Yeah, he drug it so far. So 2-0 the count now. There's a strike right through there. Catches the inside corner. 2-1 the count. Comes the 2-1. That's high and inside. Pachorik reached 2 times in the first inning on base on balls. And then he had a sac bunt in the 3rd. There's a ball past that diving first baseman, headed over to third base. And Pachorik with the base hit past the diving Grobel into right field. And that's going to bring up Marcus Dirks.
Center fielder number 27, Marcus Dirks.
Dirks will step in. Lefty versus lefty here. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down and pulled. And he's going to be safe. The pitcher I don't think he bobbled as much as he double clutched that. Probably, is that going to go as a hit? Absolutely a hit. In agreement there. So the bunt hit. So that's going to bring up Santiago, and Santiago's up there. 1 run in on that bunt by Pachorik right there. And fouled that one back. That ball's coming in on his hands, and he get his hands extended on that before the break, and it goes a long way. Blue Devils leading 10-6. Bottom of the 5th inning action. That's low and inside. 1-1 the count. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning action. Blue Devils won the first game 4-1. They lead here in this one. Cowley took the first 2 down there on Thursday. There's a swing and a miss.
Probably not.
So the Blue Devils trying to return the favor by taking 2 here today after losing 2 to Cowley down there on Thursday. 1-2 the count on Santiago, and a swing and a miss. Ball coming in on his hands. That's going to bring up Nolan the 4th. Nolan the 4th is 1 for 3, had an RBI. An RBI base hit in the first for 2 RBI. Looks like we may be getting a pitching change. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, the pitching change has been made. Blake DeLong from Decatur, Texas comes in. DeLong has a 4.35 ERA. 0-1 is his record. 9 appearances, 10 1/3 innings. And he has a strikeout ratio of 14 strikeouts to 8 base on balls. He will take over with his Tigers trailing 10-6 here in the bottom of the 5th. We are just 1 out past halfway in this one. This is a 9-inning scheduled game. So Nolan the 4th steps in.
We do get some snow at Quincy.
First pitch to Nolan the 4th is outside. 1-0 the count. Dandridge, Fitro, McCaskill across the outfield. Smith, Baldwin, Grobel across the infield. Freeland behind the plate. Blake DeLong on in relief of Hoffman. There's a breaking ball headed for the gap. And it's going to be at the base of the wall.
Gotta go, guys. Gotta go, guys. Gotta go, guys.
And nice job by Pachorik to kick the mask off of home plate. And a 2 RBI double for Nolan the 4th. So he has a couple of hits and 4 RBI on a 2 for 4 day. That's going to bring up Woida. Nolan the 4th is from Fort Worth, Texas. Woida here is from Lincoln, Nebraska. That's inside 1-0 the count.
It doesn't matter what rank you run, it's when you're hot.
It all starts over, man.
1-0 the count. Woida's been hit by a pitch, been out on a fly out, and out to Grobel unassisted at first. There's a ball headed over to the soccer facility. Blue Devils with the 12-6 lead now. That's up high. 2-1 the count.
Well, yeah, if you go there, you still take class at LSU. It's not like they want something about coaches there. Yeah, stutter.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Does he live here in Kansas and goes?
3 runs in the inning.
Oh, Freddie.
Got Nolan the 4th in a rundown here.
Man, I don't think people teach rundown techniques anywhere. There shouldn't be more than one throw.
So you are saying exactly what I've said in my coaching rundown. You get it to the base ahead, you run him back to the base, and he's either safe or out at that base. That's it.
You have to make him commit.
But caught in the rundown is Norland the fourth. So caught stealing there. 2-1 the count on Moida. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop. Baldridge, he's up with it, and going to say he was back on the base for the 6-3 ground out. So the Blue Devils get 3 runs on 3 hits.
For the Blue Devils, 3 runs on.
We go to the top of the 6th inning with the Blue Devils leading 12-6. I'll be back. All right, back to the top of the order. Baldridge, Dandridge, and Thomas scheduled up for the Tigers. Baldridge has been out on a fly, had a double and a single, and as well the only stolen base thus far of the day, I believe. He takes high 1-0 the count. Cade Baldridge, he's the shortstop. That ball misses outside, 1-0 the count. Blazer back for another inning of work. There's a strike called to him, 1 the count.
This will be a big win. So then we're looking at Seward maybe?
Dodge.
That's right, Dodge. Yeah.
That's scary.
For the
Scarier than Colby? Yeah. I think so. Dodge here? I don't know. I don't like it.
you guys played him earlier in the year, did you?
2 out of 3.
So what do we
2-1 the count with the first base umpire saying time in some way there.
So what's the count? 3-1 is the count now.
3-1.
That's
So it is, what was the count prior to that?
2-1.
So that was to Dylan. That wasn't Dylan's doing. That was, it did go to 3-1. I had the count wrong. So base on balls to Baldridge.
Now added left fielder number 9, Seth Dandridge.
I'm not a big fan of the time clock that you can't see. If you can't see it, let's don't have it. There's a strike called on Dandridge. Seth Dandridge, he's had a home run, a hit by pitch, and a base on balls in this one. So 1 for 1, but he's been on base all 3 times. There's a strike called.
Well, no, I understand.
I'd freaking get a jumbotron first.
I think, Eric, I think it's most likely going to be Dodge if we win, but Seward's another possibility.
Is it? Okay.
That jumbotron would be pretty sick, huh, Greg?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to.
We got two of them in the gym now.
Well, Susan. That
Yeah, we would probably do something.
0-2 the count here on Seth Dendridge. There's a ball headed into deep right. Couple of dense steps and then turns and says, okay, I got this. Does Spencer Schmock for the out. That's going to bring up Weston Thomas. Nope. Going to have a pinch hitter here.
Number 10, Ian Luce.
Pitch hitting for Cowley, number 10, Ian Luce.
Pinch hitter Ian Luce. He starts the day batting .352. Gonna pitch hit for Thomas.
See, the weird thing about the pitch clock is you can come set before the batter wakes up, and then just throw it. But like that's not.
1-0 the count on Luce. There's a ground ball at the second baseman. And safe at first base, but we get the 4-6. 4-6 fielder's choice.
No, this is.
It's going to bring up McCaskill.
How much do you think it is to turf out?
McCaskill has reached on an error, had an RBI base on balls, and out on a fly to left. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch.
Were you thinking about it?
0-1 the count. That's outside. 1-1 the count. Once again, thanks everyone for watching and or listening. We'll bring the playoff games next week as so Blazer off the mound but throws high to first, and that goes down the field. So that's, you have that as an error. You didn't have that as he was going to be safe without it. So an E1, and the run comes around and scores on that to makes it 12-7. It's going to bring up Quinn Grobel, the third baseman. He's walked. Reached on a fielder's choice that yielded a run and flew out to Dirks in center field. Foul ball headed down the left field line and into the bullpen area. 1-1 the count. Top of the sixth inning action. Blue Devils leading by 5, 12-7 the score. There's a foul ball back to the screen, so Grobel earns another pitch by that foul. One and two the count. Another foul ball back to the screen, so hanging tough is Quinn Grobel. Comes the 1-2. Just over the glove of Santiago. And that's going to be an RBI base hit by Grobel. That'll bring up Logan Groh, the first baseman. Groh's had an RBI base hit, a sac fly, and then, an RBI base on balls. There's a strike called, and then out on a fly to Dirks in right center. Nicely blocked is that ball by Kirkham. 12-8 now the lead for the Blue Devils. There's a foul. 1-1 the count. 1-2, thank you. Whenever I fall behind, I check there and here, and they didn't match, so I was off.
Kern was talking to his girlfriend.
No way. 1-2 the count, 2 outs. There's an inside-out swing with a base hit to right field. So back-to-back base hits with an error in front of that, and 12-8 the score. Going to get a visit to the mound. We'll see if there's any changes. I'll be back. Blue Devils leading 12-8, top of the 6th inning. 2 outs, runners at first and second for the Tigers. I'll be back. Pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. The Blue Devils bring Carter Beach onto the mound, number 16, a right-hander. Overland Park, Kansas is where he is from. He has a 7.48 ERA. He has 13 appearances, 21 2/3 innings pitched. Walk to strikeout ratio is 19 strikeouts to 13 walks. He will toe the slab and take over with the Blue Devils leading 12-8. He inherits runners at first and second. 2 runs in the inning thus far by Cowley. Cowley will now bring up Logan Smith.
Now pitching for the Blue Devils, number 16, Carter Beach.
Smith has struck out, grounded out, and been called out on strikes. That ball misses just a little bit outside. 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0 from Beach. There's a ground ball headed into left field, and that's cut down by the diving Pachorik. Pachorik probably saves a run there because of the long run that Nolan the fourth has to get to that one. The runner probably scores. So a nice job. Get dirty and save a run is a lot of times the message there. So that's going to bring up a base hit. Excuse me, that's going to bring up Freeland after the base hit. There's an I didn't want to, but I did swing and a miss there by Freeland. Freeland's 0 for 2 in this second game after he came in to take back over the catching duties from Muirhead. He's been out on a fly and a ground out. 0-1 the count. 2 outs, bases full of Tigers. That's down low. 1-1 the count. Comes the stretch and the 1-1. There's a breaking ball, catches the outside corner. 1-2 the count. One and two the count on Freeland. Wow. Pretty close pitch right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Absolutely.
Not much. Come on, Carter Beach. Oh, he's gonna fill that one up.
There's a foul ball back to the screen. So Freeland earns another pitch with that foul ball. We'll do the 2-2 again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs in the inning thus far. Beach trying to keep it at that 2. There's a ground ball to Santiago. He underhands it to Beach, covering for the 3-1 ground out. They get 2 runs on 3 hits. Does the Tigers. Makes it 12-8 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made by the Tigers. Number 21, Luke Schimmels from Edmond, Oklahoma. Schimmels has a 2.13 ERA. 2-0 is his record. 10 appearances, 12 2/3 of an inning pitched. His strikeout to walk ratio is 22 strikeouts to only 3 walks. So that's going to bring up Braden Horn. Horn takes a strike. Horn, Kirkham, and Barham scheduled up. Horn has struck out twice and been hit by a pitch. 0 for 2. There's a strike, a bender that just catches the inside corner. 0-2 the count on Horn. Much contrast to the fact that Horn had 3 doubles in the first game.
Going, baseball.
And that ball's going to be run down. by the center fielder, Fitro.
Now batting the catcher, number 32, Colton Kirkham.
That's going to bring up Colton Kirkham. Kirkham steps in with 1 out, nobody on.
Oh, hit him!
Breaking ball just breaks enough not to hit him, which almost did. Kirkham has a base hit for 2 RBI. There's a breaking ball back to the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. So Kirkham is 1 for 2 with 2 RBI on a base hit and a hit by a pitch. That ball's inside, 2-1 the count. Comes the 2-1 from Schimmels. Swing and a miss. So 2-2 the count now.
He just got injured.
Yeah, I got injured. I mean, I lost all of that.
Breaking ball there stays inside, so 3-2 the count.
But you look way better, though. Like, you look way better. Like, you need a little better.
Hope you stay healthy.
Whew. Just a little bit inside. So Kirkham with the base on balls. So that'll bring up Harrison Barham. Barham has an RBI base hit, reached on an error, and then grounded out. So he's 1 for 3 with a base hit and an RBI in this one. Runner goes, and the ball into and over to third after the ball goes into center field.
Yeah, that was pretty athletic.
So Kirkham as a catcher is reacting out there running like he's got some wheels, and he moves up to second and then on over to third.
He
was a wrestler.
Jerry. On the ball there. 1 out count.
That'll do it.
It is 1-0 the count. So Kirkham with the stolen base, then moves on over to third after the ball goes into center field. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. There's strike 2. Breaking ball catches the inside corner. 1-2 the count. Barham hangs tough. Earns another pitch with that foul ball back to the screen.
Barrel, let's go. That's the late 2 strikes.
We'll do the 1-2 again. Breaking ball misses just a little bit inside.
Come on, that's a ball.
Easy.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Let's go.
There's a breaking ball, and then that one's fouled down. The Cowley faithful out in the bleachers didn't like those inside pitches called balls.
That'd be smart about it. Come on, we need this run.
We'll do the 2-2 again.
Yes, Harry.
There it is again. So in at the grass is the infield. Smith, Baldridge, Grow, and Grobel all in at the edge of the grass.
That's kind of gross. 83.
Do the 2-2 again. There's a ground ball headed up the middle.
Big time, Harrison.
So Harrison Barham battles back and gets the base hit. Right back up the middle
Now batting the right fielder, number 2, Spencer Smock.
for the RBI, making it 13-8. The 5-run insurance is much, much better feeling than the 4, because the 4 feels like one swing of the bat could tie things up. That makes it 5. So that's going to bring up Spencer Smock. Out in the dirt, nice backhand scoop there with that one by Freeland that keeps the runner at first base. Smock 2 for 2 in this game, a couple of base hits and RBI. And a base on balls. There's a strike at the knees on the outside corner. Bottom of the 6th inning action. 9 innings scheduled game. Blue Devils won the first one 4-1.
Who's your friend group? Mine? How many dudes you got?
Yeah, because I don't play sports, so like normally you only got like 8 guys who can actually go on any day.
Another foul ball back to the screen.
My best friend is at like Stanford for soccer.
Thursday, the Blue Devils dropped the first game down at Arkansas City. They dropped the first one 5-1 and the second one 7-1. That's outside. 2-2 the count. So the Blue Devils trying to return the favor by taking 2 here today to make it an even split. They lead 13-8 here in the second one after winning the first one 4-1. There's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. So back to the top of the order. Pachorik will step in. He's walked twice, had a sac bunt and an RBI base hit in this game. He was really quiet in the first game. He was 0 for 3. Come back here with a couple of walks, a sac bunt, and an RBI base hit. There's a strike called on the outside corner. Oh, and 1 the count on Tanner Pachorik. 2 outs, runner at first base. Runner goes, and Pachorik slaps it into right center. Gonna hold him up at third. And the base hit on the hit and run by the Blue Devils. So that's going to bring up Marcus Dirks, runners at the corners with 2 outs. 1 run in the inning.
It's like a 5% probability they fucking be that good.
There's a strike called inside corner at the knees. Pachorik bluffed as if he was going.
Third base right now. Third base.
Maybe first, like you guys holding him. He's gonna be sliding off of it. There it is.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit. He's safe. He's so safe.
There's the bunt hit. The bunt hit by Dirks.
They didn't even play that well. They played that terrible.
And it wasn't a great bunt.
No, it wasn't.
Now batting the first baseman, Frankie Santiago.
When you got good wheels, you don't have to bunt as well as the others. That's a nice bunt hit there. Wasn't the greatest bunt, but yet was good enough for the base hit. 14-8 now the score. There's a swing and a miss by that pitch by Santiago. Santiago is 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch and RBI base hit. He did hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Actually got a piece of it into the glove of Freeland. Owing to the count on Santiago. Runner goes. Gonna throw to second.
Never got to the base.
He's gonna be out at second. Caught stealing, but not able to get to the base as the shortstop is coming down and may have come down on him. We'll see what happens with that. But the final out of the inning on the caught stealing. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, the top of the seventh we go. Fitro, Baldridge, and Dandridge scheduled up for Cowley. First two pitches to Fitro, 2 balls. Spencer Smock moves from right field over to center, and Carter Towns goes into right field. There's a strike called 1-2 the count. Carter Beach back for another inning of work.
This is now right fielder.
So from 2-2 the count, 2-0 to 2-2. Swing and a miss of the high heaters for the strikeout here in the top of the 7th inning. So back to the top of the order. So Cade Baldridge will step in. Baldridge is 2 for 3 with a double and a single, a stolen base, and a base on balls in this one.
No, that's a lane in.
And that's off the protective gear right there for the hit by pitch. So that's going to bring up Dandridge.
Now batting left fielder number 9, Seth Dandridge.
Dandridge is 1 for 2 in this second game. Had a home run and hit by pitch and a base on balls. Tossed over to first. Nothing much going on over there. Dandridge, the left fielder for the Tigers. There's a breaking ball, makes it back to the strike zone. 0-1 the count. There's a strike fastball on the outside corner.
He's not a very big guy either, is he?
Nah, but he's super strong.
Yeah, he looks wiry.
Like when you there's a video I saw of him.
0-2 the count now.
Since you pulled and measured the weight, he's at 496 or something.
Toss over to first, back in safely is Baldridge, the shortstop.
First day I got here and I was super skinny. I was like, oh, there's another super skinny guy. So we left that one with him and he loaded up squat just right away, like 315. Beach. It was like our first lift here. And I was like super skinny and I was like,
There's a ball headed for the gap in left center. So into second base with the double is Dandridge.
just chilling. I was like,
Ian Luce will step in. Runners at second and third. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 1 out.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Have a good night, all right?
0-1 the count. There's a ground ball at Santiago. Over to cover and gets his toe out there to get that. So the 3-1 ground out does plate a run. Makes it 14-9.
The right fielder, Dax
McCaskill will now step in. 1 run in on that ground out. There's a strike to McCaskill. McCaskill is 0 for 3, but he has reached on an error that yielded a run. He has walked that yielded a run. So he's 0 for 3, but still has a couple of RBI. One of them not an RBI, the other one is. 1-1 the count. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Kirkham. Yeah. 2-1 the count. 2 outs now, runner at third. There's a hit by a pitch. That's going to bring up Grobel.
Now batting number 37, first baseman, Quinn Grobel.
Grobel is 1 for 3, had an RBI base hit, grounded out that yielded a run, so he has a couple of RBI. Swing and a miss of that pitch. I don't know that you want to be up that high in the strike zone on this batter right here at all. Going to have to work down in. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-2 the count. The Cowley faithful not happy with that call. Toss over to first, back in safely over there is McCaskill. 0-2 the count. Just misses the outside corner. 1-2 the count. On the third baseman, Quinn Grobel. 14-9 now the lead. Top of the seventh inning action.
And some parent looked at me and said something loudly you win one, you don't know how to act. I'm like, brother, I didn't
As a ball headed into left field on the run is Nolan the fourth. It's going to be a base hit.
brother, I think I said a combined 2 words today. I have not.
It's going to make it.
Now batting number 19, second baseman Logan Groh.
So Logan Groh will step in. 2 runs in the inning to make it 14-10. There's a swing and a miss right there. Swinging a foul down, actually. 0-1 the count. Groh is 1 for 2. Has a base hit, a base on balls. There's a strike. 0-2 the count. Had an RBI on a sac fly, an RBI on a base on balls. Had a base hit and a fly out. So he is 1 for 2 with a couple of RBI. There's a ball headed into right field, and Sawyer Urbarum takes care of that for the line drive out. So 2 runs on 2 hits. The score now as we go to the bottom of the 7th, 14-10. All right, Santiago Nolan the fourth and Woida scheduled up for the Blue Devils. First pitch from Luke Schimmels is outside 1-0 to Santiago. There's a ball going to deep center field, and that's going to be taken care of by Fitro. So Santiago gives it a ride, but not deep enough. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth is 2 for 4 with a couple of hits, a single and a double. Both of them had 2 RBI. And a fair ball and a home run. For the RBI. And coming home with the opposite field home run is Freddie Nolan, the fourth. Makes it a 15-10 score. So that's going to bring up Woida. Woida will step in. Woida's been hit by a pitch and out 3 times, once on the ground, once in the air. Actually, twice on the ground.
That's a fine. Should be fined. You guys do kangaroo court? You guys do
There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
That is a no-no right there, man.
There's a breaking ball headed to the shortstop, Baldridge, and over to Grobel for the 6-3 ground out.
Same thing, right?
That's going to bring up Horn. Horn will step in with 2 outs and nobody on.
Number 55, Brayton Horn.
Going to get a visit to the mound. Going to get a pitching change. And we'll find out those changes and be back. Blue Devils 1 run in the inning on the home run. Bottom of the 7th inning action. Blue Devils leading 15-10. I'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made. Cameron Mock from Rose Hill, Kansas comes in. Mock has a 1.50 ERA. His record is 2-0. He has 11 appearances, 12 innings pitched. He has a strikeout to base on balls ratio, 5 strikeouts, 10 base on balls. So let's watch a few pitches here.
Yes, 10 walks and 11 innings. That's not good. Not really.
Horn at the plate, and there's a strike.
The 85. I don't like this.
It's a little funky.
85, that angle is insane.
It's got some late life to it, too. It's just...
Comes the 0-1 pitch. That's off the foot, so quickly 0-2 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Devils 1 run in the inning on the opposite field. Home run by Freddie Nolan the 4th. There's the 0-2 pitch, and off the foot with that foul ball again is Braden Horn. Horn, the designated hitter in this game. He was the catcher in the first game. Designated hitting here, and down in the count 0-2 to Mock. There's strike 3 called. That sidearm action comes across that plate, catches a piece of it for the strikeout. So 1 run on 1 hit, nobody left on.
Bottom of the 7th, 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and no one left on base. We get to the top of the 8th. The score is Kansas City, 15. Cowley, 10.
Blue Devils leading 15-10 as we go to the top of the 8th. I'll be back. All right, the Blue Devils make a pitching change. Caden Howell comes on in relief of Beach. He is from Lansing, Kansas. He will come in and take over. He has a 3.60 ERA. 1-2 is his record, 17 appearances. He's pitched, 20 innings. His strikeouts to walk ratio, 24 strikeouts to 21 base on balls. Has given up 1 home run, but in those 20 innings pitched, he has given up 14 hits. He'll come to the mound with the Blue Devils leading 15-10. Logan Smith, Freeland, and Fitro scheduled up. Logan Smith, the second baseman, will step in. He struck out twice, had a base hit, and grounded out. So 1 for 4 is he. That ball's a little bit low. 1-0 the count.
Third baseman number 14, Logan Smith.
1-0 the count on Smith. There's a strike right through there. 1-1 the count as Smith leads off the top of the 8th inning for the Tigers.
Oh my God, where are you going, Frankie?
So the second baseman, Barham, comes over and takes that one, and covering first base is Howe for the 4-1 ground out.
Now batting is catcher number 6, Carter Freeland.
That's going to bring up Freeland. First pitch to Freeland's down low. Freeland 0 for 3 in this game. Came on in the second inning. He's been out on a fly and a couple of ground balls, so 0 for 3 is Freeland. There's a swing and a miss, tried to hold up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. It's a foul ball over the third base dugout now to play.
I do not. It's a shadow of what it used to be. It's not.
You look at like the Pac-12.
Washington State and Oregon State, what are they doing? Big hop.
The ground ball jumps up and a little double clutch. Barham over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out.
Joining right now so far is Boise State, Colorado.
It's going to bring up Fitro.
Now batting is center fielder number 23, Drake Fitro.
Fitro will step in. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. That misses low and inside, 1-0 the count. Top of the 8th inning action, Blue Devils leading 15-10. So ball headed down the left field line. That's going to be out into the workout area. One and one the count. Misses outside. Two and one the count now. missed a little inside there.
Jerry, that's a strike.
3-1. I'm not doubting that. I'm saying that's what he said.
Come on.
Here comes the 3-1. That ball's fouled off the catcher, Kirkham, and back to the screen. So 3-2.
Got jokes. He's got jokes.
You don't say them when we're in a fudging 18-hour day. It's the top of
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a ground ball to Pachorik. He's up with it and over to Santiago for the 6-3 ground out. So 3 up, 3 down, 3 ground outs. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Devils leading 15-10. Colton Kirkham at the plate for the Blue Devils. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. Cameron Mock, the side armor from Rose Hill, Kansas, back for another inning of work. Looked like same pitch right there. May have been down a little more. 1-1 the count as Colton Kirkham leads things off for the Blue Devils here in the bottom of the 8th. Kirkham 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI base hit. That's low and outside, 2-1 the count. So in the first inning, he got 2 RBI on a base hit. Since then, he has popped out, been hit by a pitch, and reached on a base on balls, officially 1 for 2. It's a ground ball headed at the shortstop, Baldridge. Up with it and over to Grobel for the 6-3 ground out.
Now batting number 11, a second baseman, Harrison Barr.
So that's going to bring up Barham, the second baseman. He is 2 for 4 with a couple of base hits, and both of those base hits had RBI attached. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count. On the second baseman, Harrison Barham. That's up high. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's headed down into the woods. 1 hopper into the woods. 1-2 the count. Dandries, Fitro, McCaskill across the outfield. Smith, Baldridge, Grobel across the infield. Freeland behind the plate. Mock on the mound. There's a ground ball headed to second base. That's taken by Grow over to Grobel for the 4-3 ground out.
Now batting center fielder number 2, Spencer Smock.
That's going to bring up Spencer Schmock. He moved over to center field. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI base hit, a couple of base hits, and reached on a base on balls.
They're not catching that. Keep going.
So coming into third with the ball to deep right. And Smock has a 2-out triple. If you're going to have 2 outs and want to give your chance to move up on a pass ball, you just as well hit a triple to get it.
Now batting shortstop number 5, Tanner Paciorek.
2 outs, runner at third base. Paciorek at the plate. Takes a strike. Paciorek 2 for 2.
Really good D2 player.
I know. I was saying if he's big,
Foul ball called. Going to tag him just in case.
it's not
He's got great all around.
Foul ball so quickly 0-2 the count.
Even his actions are
Paciorek has a sac bunt, a couple of base hits, one of them for an RBI.
flair as a shortstop.
Also a couple of walks. That ball's up a bit. 1-2 the count.
Yes, but he's got to get bigger and stronger. Who? Garrett Goldbeck, and I know he got bigger and stronger this year. But he's talking about a good defender. That's beautiful.
There's a base hit into right center, an RBI base hit. So gets just enough of it to muscle it into the outfield for an RBI base hit.
Number 45, Carter Towns.
Carter Towns, who came in for Dirks after he was injured.
We've already announced him. He's in.
See what we get in the way of a change here.
Like Greg, I bet you can tell who's D1 and who's not easily.
All right, briefly left the air there. We had the flag as the wind has caught in a way that the flag was starting to come back down the pole. So we get that taken care of. We can get back to baseball. Had the RBI base hit by Paciorek. That's outside. 1-0 the count. Carter Towns from Kansas City, Missouri, hitting for Dirks after he was hurt when he was headed to second, and I believe the shortstop came down on him from a throw that made him go in the air. So Towns with the base hit.
This has got to be second.
Now batting first baseman number 26, Frankie Santiago.
So that's going to bring up Santiago.
How many bats has he had?
This has got to be
Seventh or eighth? Sixth, seventh or eighth bats? He's been at the plate all day.
I think it has been.
Sixth at bat by Santiago. Been hit by a pitch, hit into a double play, had an RBI base hit, struck out, and flew out to Fitro in right field. There's a ball that's headed down the right field line. We'd like to see one of those just inside the foul pole down there.
Doing that all day. He's got to stay strong with that top.
1-1 the count. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Santiago at the plate. Foul ball backing out of play. It's 1-2 the count.
Stay middle.
Jerry, we lost connection on this.
Lost connection.
Jerry, we lost connection on this.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
There's a hit by a pitch.
He had some good sound effects there. Oh, wow.
You know, he pops one out of here with one home guy.
No, I know. Come on, Freddie.
Can you bring your chair and come down here and just use this on that right there?
Won't be long.
I could definitely use a little.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice.
That'd be really nice. Please, Bob. Come on, Freddie.
Nolan the fourth.
I'm pulling for a
I can't hear everything inside here. 0-1 the count. Bases loaded. That's inside.
last game.
No, it was this game because it was the 7-run inning. It was the 7-run inning.
I'm
And then
gonna
we
be
hit
pulling
into
it
the
again.
double play.
Bases full of Blue Devils.
I'll even take a triple.
There's a strike, catches the outside corner.
I agree. You're not going to do much of that pitch. Leave it over the first baseman's head.
Sovereignty won the tournament.
Sovereignty.
Oh, Freddie.
There's a ball headed down the right field line. 1 run is in.
He's going to get 3.
2 runs in. 2 runs in. All right, sorry, audio off for a second. That's going to bring up Woida 2 runs in, makes it 18-10. Nolan with the double down the right field line. Sorry, we lost a little control of some of our network here, so there's a ball headed at the shortstop. He's up with it, and Baldridge over to Grobel for the 6-3 ground out. So we go to the top of the 9th inning.
Then we're headed to the top of the 9th inning. It's KCK
18-10 the score. We'll be back.
inning for Cowley. The shortstop, number 1, Kate Baldridge.
Baldridge, Dandridge, and Luce scheduled up for the Cowley Tigers. 9th inning action. Tigers need 8 runs to keep this thing going. The Blue Devils need 3 outs to win the 2 games today and cause the split of the 4-game series. 0-1 the count. There's a ball headed into right field. And Towns with the catch in right field. So Baldridge hits it hard, but right at the right fielder, Towns. It's going to bring up Seth Dandridge. Dandridge had a home run hit by a pitch, base on balls, a fly out, and a double. So 2 for 3 officially with an RBI on his home run, a solo shot. 0-1 the count on him. Comes the 0-1 from Howe. Misses outside. 1-1 the count. Want to thank everyone for watching and or listening today. I appreciate y'all. We will bring the games Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday if needed of the start of the playoffs. There's a ball fouled down the left field line. Over into the workout area. Blue Devils likely to play Colby, Butler, or Seward, depending on several possibilities, depending on some of the other games today. The Blue Devils could move up to 3rd in the standings. Yeah, or Dodge even agree with that. But the Blue Devils have at least assured themselves of the home games on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday if needed. Another foul ball over into the workout area.
26 and 6. They're 40 and 11. That's why.
They're 1-2 against us.
I don't know where.
They always get better. Like, they always get better as the season goes.
There's a ball headed right at Nolan. The 4th comes on and makes a diving play. So the base hit for Dandridge is taken away by Freddie. Nolan, the 4th, on that play in left field. It's going to bring up Ian Luce. Luce will step in. Cowley down to their last out. There's a strike outside corner at the knees.
Stay right there for the kid.
So Dodge won their first game. I don't know how they're doing in the second game, though. That's Seward.
0-1 the count. It's a ground ball headed at
Great day, guys. Good job.
Barham up with it and over to Santiago. And the Blue Devils win this one. Thank you. Win this one 18-10.
Oh, God.
That's the ball game. The Blue Devils make the split of the series. Cowley takes 2 down at Cowley. The Blue Devils take 2 here in KCK. We will see you on Wednesday. Keep an eye on the website for the games. The Blue Devils start the playoffs on Wednesday to see who goes to Salina, to see who goes to Grand Junction. So we will see you. Blue Devils take these today. Take the second one 18-10, the first one 4-1. Thank you very much for joining me all year long, and we will see you on Wednesday. Be safe.